A section of clerics have strongly opposed the regulation of churches by law in Kenya, saying that the church should be allowed to self-regulate. Appearing before the Senate ad hoc committee probing the Shakahola massacre, Bishop Margaret Wanjiru has decried the victimization of the religious institutions in the country following the Shakahola incident and recommended that instead that religious registration be removed from the Societies Act and anchored in another act or another law. Mary Mwoki has more.
Submit on their behalf.
Appearing before Senate ad hoc committee probing the Shakahola deaths, religious leaders strongly opposed the proposal to regulate churches, arguing that religion is a deeply spiritual matter and that state should not interfere in how places of worship run their affairs. Responding to a question raised by Baringo Senator William Cheptumo on whether the committee should make recommendations to regulate the church, Jesus is Alive Ministry Bishop Margaret Wanjiru says doing so would amount to interfering with the freedom of worship.
It should be left to an umbrella body. Why is it so? Because different churches are at different levels, and certain churches do not even have theological schools.
We propose self-regulation structure in 4 or 5 tiers. Then we can anchor the religious bodies and register. We have a registrar of religious organizations. We recommend that the religious registration be removed from the Societies Act and a new act be anchored for the religious organization.
The committee chair, Senator Danson Mungatana, put the leaders to task on why they are against academic qualifications for preachers, to which the clergy responded that being a preacher is a calling that cannot be premised on any form of training. The clergy also argued that theological training does not necessarily stop religious leaders from engaging in cult-like activities.
This is a spiritual matter. It is a complex matter. It would be tricky and not in line with the Bible for the state quite to supervise church or provide laws that guide manner, how and who to lead in religious practice.
The element of theological training is good, but not necessarily for registration, because they are people that are called and they are not trained. They're actually training as they're answering to their call. And some of them are even called from other sectors. We can't stop them from operating or going to start a church because they don't have theological training.
The Senate ad hoc committee is investigating the proliferation of religious organizations following the death of over 400 people in Shakahola. Mary Mwoki, Citizen TV.